Welcome to another lovely episode from All Hail Internal Combustion. I'm James, your host for this sad episode. This is or was my 1982 Ford F-150 pickup truck that I've been working on for far too damn long. I got it over here the other day, put new fuel in it, drained out the fuel tank, got it running. Did some work underneath of the hood. I was planning on actually selling this thing off and recouping some money for what I got in the S10. I had it out here and running, and I'm like, all right, cool. It ran good, idled good, and no funny noises or anything like that. So I decided to walk away and just let it run for a while and build up some temperature. See how everything goes. Well, it decided that it wanted to pretty much hemorrhage all of its oil out while it was over here idling. Dropped the oil pressure to 0, and now it's knocking. So, there comes a time in every car builder's life when it's like, I gotta let this thing go. I've had it for probably 6 years now. I did some work to it. All the parts that I got in it are able to come off and go onto the other truck or be put on a shelf. It's got new alternator, new voltage regulator, new distributor, carburetor, intake, valve covers, headers, glass packs. We're going to take the Ford 9-inch rear out of it and put it in our extended cab truck. So basically, I am just going to be stripping this thing down for parts. And I'm also going to keep the nice factory brass radiator that's in it, and just recouping what I can out of it. I got some parts on the inside that are coming out. I got a B&M floor shifter that I'm going to keep for the El Camino. I got a set of gauges hooked up in the dash of this that'll swap into the other truck. We're probably going to take this hood off, put it on the other truck. These are aftermarket fenders, but other than some surface rust, they're 100% rust free, so they're going to go on the other truck. And I'm just going to get my parts. Got my visor. We've been wanting to put that on the other truck anyway, so it's definitely going over there. I'm probably going to sell the doors because I don't need them. They've got new window seals in them and wiper felts, so I'll probably make some money off of them. So yeah, it's going to be a day of taking this thing apart and keeping what parts I need to out of it and seeing what I can recoup on this deal. I originally paid $450 for the truck. It ran. I drove it home. But unfortunately, it sat for 3 years while my back was bad and nothing really got done to it. So I think all the work that I did do to it kind of went south. So it is what it is. But I'll show you the progress along the way. After a couple hours of work, I got pretty much all the good parts stripped off of this motor that I put into them. I even decided to keep the Cloyd's timing chain set that I just put on this motor not too long ago. I mean, it's maybe had 6 miles on it because we moved from one house to another during the time when this truck was being built. And I was pulling the headers off. I went ahead and pulled the spark plugs because they're all new too, so I figured I would go ahead and keep them on the shelf. And I noticed the top of this header on the driver's side was covered in oil for some reason. So that kind of got me looking around. Let me go ahead and pull this dipstick tube off of here and I'll show you what I found. And I think this is the reason that this motor committed suicide. Now, I just went ahead and snapped the dipstick off because, this thing is pretty well cooked. But what I noticed when I was trying to take the headers off, I kept getting my fingers cut by something sharp. And the dipstick tube has holes in it. I assume they probably started as corrosion holes and then engine vibration and tugging on the dipstick made them open up and have a crack in between them. But I've never had a dipstick tube cost me an engine before. I know Fords are kind of notorious for pushing their dipstick tubes out under high RPM, but man, this wasn't a high RPM motor. So all I can really think is this would have been facing in the back and the tube coming out. The only thing I can think of is that by pulling the dipstick and putting it back in, it somehow wore down in the spot here where it has to make the bend to go down into the oil pan to give you your actual reading. But it's just crazy. A stupid $5 dipstick tube cost me a motor. So I don't know, man. We got to pay attention to details on everything anymore, because this is just silly, and it's a factory Ford part that was on this truck since 1982, and it caused my engine to blow. And well, it's not blown up, but it is knocking really, really, really bad. And as I showed y'all before, there's a lot of oil underneath of the truck, and it's clean on the cross member. It was all coming out back there, and when I originally pulled this dipstick tube out, it was covered in oil. So lesson learned. I'm going to keep parting this thing out and working on other things and getting it ready to go. I got somebody that wants to buy the cab off of me, and we're taking the rear out of it. So I mean, the truck's being parted out, so at least all the pieces are going to a good home. But man, I just can't believe it was a dipstick tube. But these things happen. This is James from All Hail Internal Combustion. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch y'all next time.